unwavering trust of the shareholders of the company that will enable us to embark on a growth plan for the years ahead. Also, I would just like to take a couple more minutes to address the shareholders and talk a little bit about what has happened uh, in the financial year as well as what are the future plans as well. So, allow me a few minutes, dear shareholders. The brand Fresh Choice has and will continue to have a very unique model, which is to operate company owned retail outlets that offer a wide range of product categories that include baked items, desserts, cakes, and beverages, along with distributing certain product segments that can be classified as packaged foods to modern trade and general trade outlets. The brand as a whole intends to position itself in such a manner that the company operated retail stores can leverage on the strengths of the packaged food division and vice versa. Presently, under the Fresh Choice brand, there are 18 company owned outlets in various formats and sizes. In terms of the geography of these retail outlets, currently these outlets are present across both the Telugu states. However, the plan for FY 23-24 is to open around 4 outlets, all company owned, across towns in Andhra Pradesh. Also, revamping of 2 existing outlets will be taken up to further enhance the sales and customer experience. This year, the brand has ventured into the frozen dessert space, which encompasses products such as gelatos, ice cream cakes, and other ice cream based desserts. Investments have been made to take the ice cream to select modern trade outlets too. The other segment that we have added to the product range at the retail outlets is a traditional Indian sweet. Currently, this product is being sourced from manufacturers in the northern part of India. The future is to manufacture these products as well. Compared to FY 21-22, the revenue for retail went up by 21.5% in FY 22-23. Similarly, for FY 23-24, the revenues are projected to grow by 30%. In relation to the packaged food division, majority of the sales during FY 22-23 came from breads and buns. Fresh Choice is a market leader for this category in the Vizag, Vijayanagaram, and Srikakulam districts. In terms of the geography, our packaged foods are available across 5 districts of Andhra Pradesh. The company has been building on its presence in the East and West Godavari districts also. Packaged foods via distribution channel contributed to about 60% of the overall sale of the company, whereas the company operated retail stores contributed to 40% of the sale. The company is offering a wide basket of products to retailers and customers. FY 22-23 has been a very challenging year with fluctuations in raw material prices and the availability of raw materials in itself. FY 23-24 has been encouraging so far. Rusk's volumes have more than doubled in the first few quarters of 23-24, which is a major highlight. Capacity utilization has reached around 90%, and further investments are planned for to enhance the scope of our packaged food division. Decision to invest in a new manufacturing unit to increase the capacities is being taken currently, and it should take into effect as early as January 2024. This should increase our distribution radius significantly by catering to the densely populated districts of East Godavari, West Godavari, Krishna, and Guntur. Also, this would help in doubling our present distribution top line, and the aim is to achieve this by the third quarter of 24-25. So thank you, dear shareholders, once again, and I would be more all the shareholders. So I'll start answering them one by one. If I missed anything, please remind me or forgive me. You can reach out to us, and definitely I'll be more than happy to answer the questions. I'll start off with Kamal Kishore ji. कमल किशोर जी आपका ये सवाल पहला सवाल ये था कि डिविडेंड के बारे में आप पूछ रहे थे 24-25 sorry 23-24 are we going to be able to give a dividend Kamal Kishore ji honestly अगर if I had to answer that question company अभी growing stage में है तो I think by 24-25 next year का plan 23-24 we have a realistic target revenue top line of about 60 to 65 crores. But 24-25 last time we mentioned किया था 24 FY 24-25 we want to be a 100 crore top line company. So definitely, I think 24-25 we can expect dividends. I cannot promise, but definitely our goal, our aim is to make sure that we reach that 100 crore top line, and we are also able to give dividend to all the shareholders. Shrikant ji ka question, any fundraise for FY 23-24? Shrikant ji, I think I just mentioned uh, target or this year we are trending towards doing a top line of 60 to 65 crores. अगर लास्ट ईयर का टॉप लाइन अगर आप देखें तो 49 crores किए थे. तो 49 से we will go to up to 60 to 65 crores. So it's not a big difference. So we will not be requiring any additional funds to reach that 60-65 crore target that we have set for this financial year. But like I mentioned, FY 24-25, when the goal is to become a 100 crore company, then at that point हम शायद सोचेंगे फंड रेज करने के लिए, रिक्वायरमेंट भी रहेगा तब. और आई थिंक वन मोर क्वेश्चन यू आल्सो आस्क्ड अबाउट इज एनएससी लिस्टिंग. लास्ट टाइम भी आप ये क्वेश्चन पूछे थे, वो भी डेफिनेटली हम एक्सप्लोर करेंगे और होपफुली वो भी कर पाएंगे हम. Redappa Garu, I think, asked a question on, I think he appreciated the annual report. Thank you so much. I cannot take the credit for it. Right from our company secretary, Ibrahim Pasha, and the creative team, they got together and did it. So, glad that you liked the report. Expansion plans, Redappa Garu, I think, again, going back to what I had mentioned earlier, this year, actually, this financial year, very soon, like I mentioned, even in my report, we are negotiating to start the third unit. Hopefully, it should be commissioned by January 24. Once that happens, our capacity, our distribution, whatever capacity we're doing right now, that will be doubled. Added to that, also, this new factory that we are planning on starting is closer towards the market. So logistically also it works out better, and the bottom line along with the top line also should improve. I hope that answers your question. And I think the other question you mentioned about was dividend. I have the same answer that I mentioned before. I think definitely for 24-25 we will plan. We will definitely plan to make sure we can give you the dividend. Then I think Keshav ji had a lot of questions. I noted down most of the questions. So in case I've missed anything, kindly reach out to me or reach out to the team, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So I think one of the questions you asked was outlook for 23-24 and outlook for 24-25. So I think these questions I've just answered. Plan from a top line and bottom line perspective. Top line wise, we're looking at a 60 to 65 crore top line for 23-24, and 24-25 definitely that 100 crore mark that I had mentioned even the last time we had the AGM. Revenue. The other thing you mentioned is so far the revenue is flat. So typically, even if you look at the previous years, Q1 tends to be our slowest year because it's a seasonal business. It picks up from Q2. Q3 is supposed to be the best quarter, and then Q4 again is a reasonably good quarter. So business should pick on from this month onwards. We're already seeing a lot of positive signs. So we're very confident that that figure that we had set for ourselves of 60-65 crores can be achieved. Sustainable EBITDA margin, that's a very good question, Mr. Keshav. I think, in my opinion, the EBITDA in this industry with a healthy mix of retail and distribution should be 20%. That is what we're aiming to get to. Currently, we're not there, we're nowhere close, but we're working towards it. And how that can be achieved, again, is a favorable product mix. So, when I've mentioned about ice creams, when I've mentioned about Indian sweets, I have not mentioned a couple of other categories that we're also looking at, like chocolate. All of these product categories we're looking at only to better the product mix. And once the product mix is more favorable, then I think the EBITDAs will be more healthy and hence the bottom line. You wanted more clarity or more information when I mentioned about the capacity utilization being at 90%. So the last AGM that we had, I had mentioned, I don't know if you remember, I mentioned that our capacity utilization was at about 60%. So that has now gone to 90%, hence why the top line has gone up as far as the distribution and the packaged food division has gone up. That is the reason why we've decided that we need to have a new manufacturing unit. We didn't want to expand in the existing facility because, like I mentioned earlier, logistics is a very, very critical factor here. Having manufacturing closer to the market gives you an advantage both in terms of serviceability. By serviceability, I mean replenishing quicker at the counters, satisfying the retailers by providing regular service, and also saving on the transportation costs, which all in turn make our bottom line more healthier. So I hope that was able to answer your question. And investment plan, like I mentioned, this year we're opening four outlets, like I mentioned last year as well. Out of which two outlets are to be opened in right before Dashera, and the other two will be opened one before New Year's and one after New Year's. And you also asked about the mix between retail and distribution. Currently, if you look at the present scenario where it is 60-40, I think we would like to keep that mix. I think the 60-40 mix is a very nice mix because what distribution does for us is it brings in the top lines, and what the retail side of business do is that brings in the bottom line. So I think we would like to keep the same mix of a 60-40, but obviously with a much larger top line, with a much larger market penetration. So we're at 18 outlets right now. By 24-25, we want to get to about 30 outlets, 30 company-owned outlets. And by having the third manufacturing unit to support the existing capacity, I'm very confident we'll be able to achieve whatever numbers I mentioned. So I think one more question you mentioned about is market share in the region. That's a very tough question to answer, and I might not be able to give you a very accurate number. But just to give you a sense, the manufacturing unit is located between Vizag and Vijayanagaram. So if you look at Vizag metropolitan as one unit, my estimation is we do about the city sells about 20,000 loaves of bread. Organized players. I'm talking about organized players, out of which we do about 12,000 loaves of bread. So about 60% market share in a product like bread. Now, when we're talking about a product like rusk, it's completely different because you've got local players, you've got national players like your Britannias, Parleys, and you've got regional players like Rose and Marino from Hyderabad. So there's a lot of competition. But the encouraging part is I think we're doing very well as far as rusk is concerned in those three districts. We did a recent survey. Last year at this time when I was talking to you, the previous year, monthly we were consuming about tons of rusk a month. About
20 tons.
Half a ton of rusk a month. Sorry, half a ton of rusk a day. So which equates to about 15 tons. Today that capacity is almost tripled. And if you look at where we stand in the market, I think we'd be in the top five. So these are some very encouraging signs. And again, if you look at buns, in the bun subcategory, we have a product called the cream bun, which is a star product. I had mentioned last time, I think Mr. Bharatraj asked this question regarding the cream bun. And I had mentioned that the plan is to get to 15,000 cream buns a day. I'm very happy to tell you we've exceeded that number. We're at about 16, 17,000 buns a day. And the reason we've invested in this new equipment, we've invested in a new bun line, like Mr. Ravichandran had mentioned during his speech. That bun line has a capacity to go up to 40,000 buns a day. So those are the numbers we're looking at going forward. So I think I was able to answer most of the questions you had for me, but in case I've missed out on any, kindly let me know. Bharatraj Garu, I think you had asked a question about outlet in Hyderabad. Bharatraj Garu, plan అయితే ఉందండి, but we don't want to do an outlet in the existing model in Hyderabad because many people are doing what we're doing. See, today we're able to, whatever model of retail outlets we're opening in the tier 2 towns is a very different model. It's not very easy to replicate. The entry barrier in the food industry, మీకు తెలిసినట్టు, it's very easy to open a bakery outlet or a restaurant. But the challenges come when you have to sustain it over time. So that's where I think we have very strong systems in place in terms of having a central kitchen, in terms of having an established cold chain. The model is right. So my opinion, lo, this model works very well in tier two towns because nobody else is doing it. We have a first movers advantage. So we don't want to give it up. And the idea is we want to focus on more tier two towns. My assessment, my understanding low, tier two towns low, there is a lot of aspiration for a good quality product. It's just that the access is not there. They have to come to the metros to have a quality product. So our whole thought process is why can we not go to the tier two towns and offer them something that is available in the metros? So that is the reason why we're focusing on tier two towns, and I think that will be the template, at least in the considerable future. Hyderabad, yes, Hyderabad has a lot of potential, lot of there's a huge market here. But then, if we do something in Hyderabad, it has to be the right format, the right idea, and the right concept. Otherwise, there is no fun in doing something or replicating what everybody else is doing. So, hope I was able to answer your question. The other question I think you mentioned about is rights issue. That is something also in that mention చేసినట్టు immediate గా అయితే రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉండదు. But who knows, 24, 25, 25, 26, there might be a requirement. And plant visit, I remember last time also you had mentioned, definitely we will arrange that plant visit. We would be more than happy for you to go see that plant. The company registered office is in Bhimvaram. If you can go there along with your friends, అక్కడి నుంచి definitely we will arrange a visit for you, and more than happy to accommodate you and have you visit the factory so that you also know what is